What's up, everybody? I'm back again. Here we are, 2021 Halloween season. Still COVID. But either way, here we are. Haven't had a chance to really get down to the nitty gritty with a lot of these haunts and haunted trails, but I have had a chance to go out and talk to some of the owners of some of these different attractions to kind of get a little information for you guys because I know there's a few different haunts around. Everybody wants to know kind of where they need to go to maybe have the best time. They don't want to haunt this too long, too short. Just small details that can make a world of difference. So we'll start. I've got a small list of a few that I can just talk about because I've actually had the opportunity to sit down, talk to some of the owners and some of the people that run the haunts, and just kind of get a little more info. So I'll start with the first one. Always one of my personal favorites because it's just an awesome haunt. It's Brad and Stephanie Wickwire, and they run Wicked Forest of Terror out there on I-40 in Morgan. It's near Epic Paintball. I know we've talked about them a couple years in a row, but I had the opportunity to go out there again last night, as a matter of fact, and they bust their butts on that haunt. Haunted trail, that whole setup. They just really put in work. I know I was talking to them about it, and they sometimes stay till 5 in the morning just working on it. They go home, die for a little bit, come back, do it again just to get the haunt ready. But I think on top of that, the unique thing is it's not just them out there. It's not just the people, the owners of the haunt. It's all the actors. It's all the people that are involved in the haunt. So you got the actors working out there. You got the owners out there. People involved in the haunt that are actually scaring, and some that aren't, that are more behind the scenes, but they all have a hand in getting this attraction put together. So I think that puts an element of pride for everybody in it. So they, it's kind of they've got invested in this thing, and so it's kind of not just, it's one or two people's baby, it's everybody's baby, and they want to make sure it succeeds. And so I think that is something that makes that haunt pretty unique. It's just the team and how they pull together to get everything ready. Speaking of the team, talking to them a little bit about it, they had an awesome crew last year. They had an awesome team of just high intensity actors. They were really talented, a bunch of them, just amazing. They've added some more people. They over the past season or so, maybe recently, they've added a bunch of new characters to their cast and a lot of talent. I'll throw some names out there. I got some names on it. Nathan Bright, for one. He's a makeup and special effects. He's an award-winning artist. For the things he's done around local haunts, movies, things like that. And they've added him to the team. So, as if their team wasn't already awesome enough, they've got this guy now. They've also added people like Jennifer Martin, Brian Crump, Joseph Miller, Doug Schwartz. All these people are heavily involved in the horror scene as far as Halloween and special effects and acting. These are key elements too. Like I mentioned, I can't take anything away from their current team. They're just amazing, and for them to add these people to that team is just gonna send it over the top. I mean, it's gonna be. They say chaos breeds chaos, and I think that's what it's gonna be because not only do they already have a base talented team, they're adding these actors and these artists and these people behind the scenes that are just gonna add. They're bringing so much talent, so much knowledge, and so much energy. Just an amazing amount of energy to the haunt. I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. So. Found that out, and that just makes me extremely excited and ready to go because they've also made some changes to the haunt. The first time they had it back on the east side of the area they were at, and then they moved it a little bit to a little more of a ambiguous spot where the ground is a little more treacherous. I mean, and not treacherous in the sense you're going to fall, just you have to navigate it a little bit. It just kind of adds to it. Now they change it even more now. The cool thing here is that last year they had to go clear out everything. They had to build the path to this new haunt. This year the path is there, so they could focus more on special effects and focus more on just scenery and the lighting and how to stage actors and where to put them. So they didn't have to do anything else. They'd manicure a little bit, but this time it was mainly just putting energy and time into figuring out what works best. And I got to walk through that particular haunt in that trail, and it looks pretty awesome. It's going to be, the changes they've made were all as if the haunt wasn't good already. The changes are going to make it, just put it over the top yet again, because that's just the ambiguity that they added just by changing some stuff in this area. I mean, I'm not saying they're little changes. Some of them are pretty big, and they've added some really cool new stuff. It's going to be a pretty good time. As far as, prices go, it is the beginning of the season. Prices really don't change, but I think their general admission is going to be $25, speed pass $35. You can also do like an instant pass. You just get right in. And then they have their Wicked Pass for, I think think it's 90, and that puts you behind the scenes. You get priority and everything when it going, like I said, behind the scenes, seeing how stuff is done. That's a pretty cool feature. Not only that, but they've also added a pretty cool a feature, just one, and I got to partake in that last night. And I've never done that before, and it was different. They have a casket set up out there. You can go lay in this thing. Can you last in the casket laying there? Can you just feed on yourself for 3 minutes and just lay in there? Some of you can, some of you can't. I made it, but I'm not an anxious person. I don't have claustrophobia, but that made me a little bit, I don't know, a little bit anxious. So go try it out. Just see for yourself what's going on there. I think you'll either have fun. No, you'll have fun. So one thing I will mention too is on top of all the other actors that they have, they've also retained a lot of veteran actors. They've gained some from other haunts that have discontinued over the years, some veteran actors. So not only have they retained a lot of actors, they have tons of veteran actors, and they've added more people that is just going to add more energy, better effects, better makeup. And not only that, but they've had more time to just focus on the haunt itself instead of just clearing out a trail and trying to deal with the elements. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So I would, once again, if I were y'all, I would go check out Wicked Forest of Terror out there, I-40 in Morgan. So there will be a mid-season update, but I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. So stay tuned for that one. The next place I'm gonna mention, I had the chance to talk to today and catch up finally, is the owners out there at Guthrie Haunts. Talk to them a little bit about everything that's going on. Last year, the haunt, everybody was worried about COVID, and rightfully so. And they weren't sure if, a lot of places weren't sure what they're going to be able to do and what was going to be safe, because anything they do, they want it to be fun for you guys. And this is what they emphasize. They want it to be fun. They want it to be intense, but they don't want it to be unsafe. That's the one thing that they mention the most, is they want it to be a very safe, fun experience. And we couldn't thank them more enough for that. I think all haunts strive for that, but they make it a point out there too. But this year, they had time to really refine some of their actors, really train a lot of the actors more to kind of get them into that mode. There are more special effects. They've really added on to a lot of the cool features they already had as far as their haunt goes. So they've had time to really add more special effects, more lighting, and just really kind of fine tune a lot of the scenes. There's going to be some pretty intense stuff, and they just built on it even more. I won't tell you some of the ideas, but it's going to be pretty wicked. Some of them are going to be they might catch some of y'all off guard, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Just what they were able to do with it now that they came out guns blazing this year. That's verbatim what they said. They're coming out guns blazing this year. They got a lot, and I say this for everybody, but they do have a lot of veteran actors. They got Giggles, they got Toxic, and they're going to have them in different areas. But something that they've done is last year they had a midway, like an area you could hang out and watch a show and just kind of be entertained while you're waiting to get in the haunt, because they use a queue system. And they've increased the size of that midway now. That midway is about double the size. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You won't just wait in the line and just kind of be bored. You're going to have a lot of stuff entertaining you while you're waiting to get in. So, more actor training, and they've also had time to really work on, they brought in different costume designers to really just kind of bring everything to that next level, because I will tell you straight, I'll tell you forward, you can have the most special effects in the world, you can have the best costumes in the world, but the actor training and everything, that's what counts the most, because without the actors, you don't have anything. You don't have a haunt. You have props. That's all you've got, and that's not scary. You need actors, and they have actors. So they're going to do really well this year. I know there's a lot of stuff going on like the fair, but for you people out there that are sitting on the couch, you don't want to go to the fair, completely fine. Don't go to the fair. Take yourself out to a haunted attraction, a trail, do something. I think you'll really have a lot of fun. Something I will mention, they did add a new scene in Guthrie. I won't tell you what it is, but they added a new scene, and it sounds pretty awesome. Like I can't get out there tonight. I wish I could, but the new scene sounds legit. So I'm just ready to find out how they utilize that space to create that scene, and kind of just how that plays out, because it's going to be awesome. Couple other things about them too. One thing I want to mention is that they've already been open for 2 weeks. When you open a haunt, you have to get these actors. They have to get them in their places, and they may not be in the right spot as far as what fits them the best. So you've got to have time to really get people in the right spot, get them in the right frame of mind, and figure out what works. And that gives them time to figure out what works. They've already been open for 2 weeks running this through, so any bugs they've really worked out by now. The actors have kind of already gotten to that zone. They're in that mode, so they're ready for you. It's not I'm not saying anything bad about just having opening night and starting, because they're started 2 weeks ago, but I'm just saying that they've had time to fine tune it. And now they get to go ahead, and when you show up, they get to live in your head rent free, because that's what they're the best at. I think they really do a very good job at that. Something additional, though, they are going to offer a touch pass this year. Now, you have to be 18. It is a $10 upgrade. But and it's going to be a cash only deal for everything, so bring cash. But the touch upgrade is going to be $10 and be with blood or without, your choice. I choose the blood, but that's just me. So there's a lot of stuff there going on. They retained a lot of actors from the previous seasons and everything, so you're going to have veteran actors that can touch you. And I want to emphasize a little bit on the touch thing. I know people get kind of nervous about the whole touch pass situation. I don't want people touching me and grabbing me and slamming me on the ground. None of that's going to happen. They're not going to be abusing you. There's no physical abuse going on. Nobody's going to rub up and just sock you in the jaw and, oh, it's a haunt. No, that's abuse. That's assault. That's illegal. They're not going to do that. It'd be more or less things like getting a little more close, getting a little in your space, invading your space, and maybe trying to divert you, guide you off. And unlike some places, they're not just going to maybe just kind of mess with you and touch you a little bit. You may get diverted off from your group. You may get pulled off a different direction, but not forcefully, just more guided in a different direction. And you may meet up with your group in a couple minutes. You may not. You have to find out. But it'll be worth it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Just adding some of that unknown to it. It's going to be a blast. So touch pass, awesome actors, with blood, without. I think ticket prices are going to be $20 general admission. Fast pass is going to be another 20, and I just look on the internet site, but they've got all their prices listed there. Touch pass is $10, and cash only. Can't emphasize that enough. I think it's going to be a blast out there too. I always have a great time going to Guthrie. They've been around forever. They know their craft very well. So there's that. Another one that I've talked to a little bit just through, messaging, and I've been out there a million times, is a small family-run haunt called Twisted Minds. It's over there in Wheatland, Oklahoma, not that far from like Mustang, Oklahoma City. But they talked to me and they told me they made a lot of changes to the trail this year. Now, if you guys never been out there, they're partially indoor, partially outdoor, and it seems like it's a small haunt, but they use that space really well.